What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Wow, this feels, somebody just said in the comments they feel like this is a huge family reunion. I totally feel the same way, guys. Totally. Awesome to be back online. Apologize for the delay there. The internet here at the new house is still giving me issues. It's not my 1G fiber that I had at our last place, so you'll notice I've reduced the resolution a little bit, and I'm trying to tweak my OBS settings, and then sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So that's also why we're streaming a little bit earlier here. I feel like the usage on the bandwidth out here is less during the morning time. So we're going to give it a shot. There might be some buffering, some drop. It's weird. I'm not having really a buffering issue. I'm getting a dropped frames issues from Streamlabs. So I don't know exactly what's causing that. I've been researching for the last week trying to get a smooth presentation for you guys. Right now I can see I'm monitoring the dropped frames. So if it gets really bad to the point where it's unwatchable, we'll have to end it and try to figure something else out. But right now it seems to be doing decent. Guys, I am excited to see everybody back. Dougal McTavish, how is it going, my friend? You just spammed this across Discord. I appreciate that, dude. I was going to put it in there, but I felt that having Discord up was also taking away some of my bandwidth from streaming, and I'm trying to eliminate all variables right now. So I'm running just Streamlabs and X-Plane, and I'm trying to isolate all the variables for the internet connection so we can get the kinks worked out. But it's good to see you here, Dougal. Especially, guys, if you haven't checked out Dougal and the SimWings project, fantastic. He's already shipped out 2 computers. Awesome stuff, Dougal. And I believe you guys are doing a group flight tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. I'd love to be a part of that. I don't know. It depends on how much dirt I can get shoveled out of the front yard right now. I've got a big pile of dirt I need to remove from the front yard here pretty soon. Anyway, good to see you, man. Commander Ginar Hoffman, what's going on, man? Niels Christensen, Chris. Omar on, what's going on, man? Alex. Carta Joel in the house. How's it going, my friend? Swappy S, good to see you. Good to see you, man. Captain Geo, man. Congrats on the newest member to your family, dude. I have to say, kind of a surprise to myself, but the wife and I also found out that we are expecting another child here, probably middle of next year. So I'll be joining the club there with Captain Geo. So that's exciting. We're looking forward to that as well. Dylan, what's going on, man? Jeff in the house trying to get slam cannon. What's going on? Good to see. Look at all the silver captain stripes. Man, that is pretty hardcore. Gosh, good to see you guys still rocking the silver badges. Guys, I can't thank you enough for your patience and hanging through this whole time with me the last couple months trying to move. We moved to an apartment, then we wait for a house to finish, then we moved to our house. So I've been kind of distant. I know a lot of things have happened. Flight Sim 2020 is out. Don't worry, we are going to be in the Flight Sim 2020 simulator very soon. Probably the next stream, it will be in the Airbus. We're also going to do some GA flying. I'll have my thoughts on that later. But today, let's talk about something that I didn't get to live stream with you guys, unfortunately, because I was right in that transition period. But the Airbus A300 from I&I Simulations. Wow, this bird is absolutely fantastic. I want to show you guys some things that I've learned on it, and I want to hear your thoughts on this airplane. And there's a lot of cool things. I know if you're a fan of Airbus, you probably have noticed by now some of the little nuances that you can see Airbus has taken over from the A300, and you can see what's made it to the narrow body version of the Airbus and what's out there flying right now. And then you can see a lot of things that they've dropped and made better in our current Airbuses that the pilots of the A300 had to deal with. Swappy coming in with the $1 donation. Dude, that I totally forgot about those alert sounds. That actually gave me a minor heart attack right there. Thank you so much, man, for your $1 bomb. He says, welcome back. Congrats, Captain. Thank you, man. Yeah, it's congratulations for sure. I am pretty shocked. It's this damn quarantine, man. We were in that apartment, small apartment, and we just kept bumping into each other. It was not really planned. It just kind of happened. So quarantennial children will be born next year, I'm sure. Hope everybody is happy and healthy. Let's get back. Let's get into the stream, guys. That's enough chit chat. I could sit here and talk. I feel like I want to talk to all you guys, and I just could do a podcast live, just trying to catch up on what everybody's been doing and your thoughts on Flight Simulator and the 11.5 Vulcan. We are in Vulcan right now, but let's get into the airplane. I know you guys want to see some action, so I know there is potential for some lag when I switch camera views. So I'm going to try to keep my camera views to a minimum, or my camera switching views to a minimum, and we'll just kind of go from there. And hopefully everything will be as smooth as possible. But we are cold and dark in the lovely A300. I'm going to hop right up to the overhead. We're going to get started. 3 batteries in the A300. Let me know how the volume is. Actually, I'm going to bump it up right now. Let me know how the in-game volume is for you. I had to redo all my settings and stuff, so if the volume is too loud, my voice is too loud, if the sim's not loud enough, let me know. We'll get those retweaked. But we get the batteries on, and then we're going to go ahead and turn on the external power right here. I love this sound. Oh, that harmonic tone, almost like plugging a guitar into an amp. You can hear it when you connect that ground power. Very nicely done. The sounds on this airplane are fantastic. We're going to go nav mode on all 3 IRs, get them aligned. I put it into heading status mode here. That way we can see what's going on here. We've got 7 minutes remaining on the alignment phase there. I'm going to go ahead and bring this over to external power so I can see my electrical indications, and I'm going to go ahead and put this on essential TR. Now we need to get some lights in the cockpit here, so let's go ahead and turn these bad boys up. I'm trying not to yell because the current situation in this house is temporarily my simulator is right outside the door of my current child's room, so she's sleeping right now, and I'm trying to keep my voice down a little bit, but until I can get a permanent solution for my desk. Oh my god, there comes Dougal McTavish. You guys just scared me. Dougal, thank you so much, man. $20 bomb. Goodness, man. I appreciate that, Dougal. Too kind. He says, massive congrats on FO number 2. You've been sorely missed, my friend Dougal. Thank you so much, man, for your kind words and support on the channel. I've missed you guys terribly. I mean, I even told my wife, it's like, I need to get back to my people. I was making videos and stuff, you know, to post pre-recorded or whatnot, and it's just not the same. I love being able to interact with you guys here on the channel, hear your reactions. This is where this channel really hits home for me. I love being able to interact with you guys. Thank you, Dougal. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, FO number 2. I'm gonna need a 3-person cockpit now. I got a flight engineer and an FO, so it's gonna be pretty crazy. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Neil says the volume's pretty okay. Awesome, good. Nicholas Watson getting in the I love Microsoft Flight Sim graphics, but the systems are all but amateur. We're going to talk about that in cruise, man. Let's go ahead. I'm going to continue to get the airplane at least semi going here before we want to talk. I feel out of practice. You know, streaming is a show, and I feel out of practice, so bear with me as we get through this. We'll go back up here. Let me get my flow done here. Let me break away from the chat. So we've got our IRs in a line. Everything is going on here. Now, fun thing about the testing here, we can do our lamp test. And now the real procedure actually requires you to... There's our fire test on the overhead. I didn't hold the first one long enough. But the real fire test actually requires you to manipulate the start valve as well. We're just going to go ahead and skip that there. But our fire test is complete. I'm going to come on down the overhead here. Everything looks good in the reservoir panel. Ian Warner, welcome to Private Pilot. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you joining the channel. Dimitri in the house. What is going on, dude? with you, Dimitri. Oh, man, good to see you here, Dimitri. You have been missed as well, brother. Good to see you. Welcome to the chat, man. All right, so cargo compartment. Oh, man, these are by default on now? That's interesting. I thought normally they were off. I just updated this to 104. I was running version 103 for a while because I didn't have good enough internet to really do anything at the apartment. So I just updated to 104. There's a couple differences here. Pro P can stay off. I'm going to just go ahead and turn the pumps on right now because we're going to get the APU fired up. I'm going to get off ground power. And it's just a short flight plan. We'll go ahead and get the coffee makers going. That can come on. That can come on. Arm that. And... we'll go ahead, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Get the APU primed up here. We're going to start the APU, and we're going to get out of here. Let me go ahead and get this box initialized here, breaking away from the chat, just so we can get going here. Oakland, KOAK, because like I said, I do have a lot of dirt I need to move today. Oakland to Portland International Airport. Beautiful Portland, Oregon. Love it up there, Pacific Northwest, man. We're going to be operating this flight as UPS numero 1. Since it's stream 1 back, we're going to go flight level 350, cost index 99. Yes, sir, that looks good to me. Flight plan, pretty simple flight plan. We're going to depart Oakland off of runway 30 on the... let me see, let me check my flight plan real quick. Oh, you know what? I forgot to get Sim Toolkit Pro going up there for you. There we go. It's the Hush 2 to Grateful. Hush 2 to Grateful. Hush 2 departure. Hush 2 Grateful off 30. Insert that. After Grateful, we're basically going to go star 10 right now. We'll see what it is. Timbers 2 RNAV. I've been flying the Timbers 2 quite a bit going on Portland. Max Rank coming in with a $20 bomb. Thank you so much, man. He says, a diaper cash, great news, and welcome back, V1. Max Rank, thank you so much, man, for your support. Definitely going to need that diaper cash. I tell you what, man, babies go through diapers. I'm sure you parents already know, but I knew people always said, yeah, you're going to go through a lot of diapers. But, man, I underestimated what people meant by a lot of diapers. It is like every day every time you go to the store, you're stacking up on diapers. I wish I could stack up on bourbon or stock up on bourbon as much as I stock up on diapers. I don't know how that would go for my kidneys though, whatnot. But anyway, appreciate it, Max Rick. I appreciate it, dude. Dougal says, am I really going to have to buy this bird? Dougal, stand by, brother. Stand by. You may be buying this bird by the end of this stream for sure. This is one of my favorite airplanes in X-Plane 11. I have a lot I want to talk about when we get airborne here. I think I missed. We're supposed to go to Machu, but hey, we're not on a network today because I'm not doing any ATC network today, just because I am trying to isolate all potential loose ends for the internet connection. So I'm just doing X-Plane and streaming. I even turned off my Wi-Fi on my phone and everything. So. That's why we don't have that work on us today. But all right, we got our page here, so let's come back around and to the most wonderful EFB that I've ever used in X-Plane. Check out how easy this thing is to use. We're going to take, I'm sure you guys have probably already used it by now. Thank you for the subscribe, man. Appreciate it. Wash176, thank you for subscribing, man. Let's see, so we've got 28.3. We'll go ahead and load fuel. We'll go to next page. We're going to take... oh, right about 21, about half there. I don't know why that's in kilos. I thought I changed it to pounds. We'll go ahead and load that. Next page, we're going to compute the data. And let's enter some numbers. Block fuel on board is 28.2. 28.2. That goes right here. Zero fuel weight is 110.9. I feel like, is this kilos? Interesting. Maybe it didn't save. No, that wouldn't be kilos. That'd be way too much, wouldn't it? So that looks good. Let's see. CG is 30.1, almost dead smack in the middle. Gotta love the A300, man. Pretty much any Airbus I've flown, if you take off with the trim in the green, it will burn the green, it'll land in the green, you'll be pretty good to go. Airbus did a really good job with the weight and balancing of their aircraft, even in the A300, even in the early days. Alright, so that looks good. We're going to go ahead and send to perf. I'm going to load the FMC data. Look how streamlined this is. Now we'll go ATIS request. I can't believe you don't have this bird either, Dougal. I thought for sure you would have had this bird by now. Stuart Payne, what's up, man? He says, Sup, Jew, Dougal, and V1. I'm not buying any more birds. My X-11 has been stripped down of most aircraft, only my study stuff, and I'm no way ready for another big bird right now. Stuart Payne, I totally agree with you, man. This A300 and the Airbuses are what's keeping X-Plane installed on my system right now. Let's see. We're going to go runway condition dry anti-ice off. We don't flex here on the V1 channel. We're going man Toga out of here. Let's go ahead and compute the numbers. We'll do a 15-0 takeoff. I think that should be fine. We got plenty of runway. We're not that heavy either. Second segment limitation. This has to do with climb performance. So I might do a video about second segment numbers and really breaking down what V-speeds mean. I know a lot of you guys probably already know what V-speeds mean on the surface, but there's a lot of stuff that's calculated at rotation and past rotation, kind of similar when we talk about landing. You want to come in 50 feet over the threshold, and you want to make sure you can clear an obstacle, etc., and how the glide slope is calculated. So there's a lot of information on the backside of that too for takeoff, and that's kind of what you're getting here. This is your limitation. Thank you, Berto360. Good to see you, brother. Welcome to the channel again. Good to see you here in chat, man. It says, congrats, Captain. It's good to see you, sir. Berto, it's great to see you, man. Thank you so much for that $5 bomb, man. Really appreciate it. All right, so everything's here. Let's go ahead and send that to the FMS. Boom, receive this. I mean, this is so realistic. We get this too. Receive company data. Boom, we'll clear that out. 162.65, we're going to set that on the FCU 0.8 down. So that looks good. We'll come over here. We're going to set our FCU to what did I say, 162? That can't be right because it's, what was the number? 167. 167. Good thing about not having a network, we can go straight up to 350. Carter says, the 727 not keeping X-Plane installed. Carter, that's, you know what? As much as I love the 7.2, I haven't flown it really at all. The only airplanes that I've really flown since I've been hiding from you guys without internet really has been the A300, and I've been flying the Toga a lot. I've been flying the 319 quite a bit as well. But of course, the 727 is still installed, as well as the 737-200. But I have minimized a lot of stuff here on my sim. So 167, 350 set. We're going to be departing off 30. We're going to fly heading 3 on departure 300 first. Then we go profile nav. That looks good. Let me turn the lights on up there. And I believe I already have the APU on, so let's go ahead and get the APU bleed on. Disconnect external power here. So you got a green here. You're good to go. We'll get rid of that. I've done that plenty of times in the real airplane where you've just dropped off and you thought you had ground power and you start, it's embarrassing. Anyway, we've got good power there. Let's get our systems online here. Our window and cockpit heaters, those look good. And we should have had our nav light on to begin with. Everything else looks good on the overhead. And we need to close the main deck door. So we'll come back over here. We'll start closing up some doors and we'll get ready to start and get out of here. Alright, we no longer need the external power. So that's where you can make a mistake. We don't need a chocks or the fuel truck. And let's just go straight back. Actually, you know what? We need to get an ATIS. This is also one of my favorite things. Look at this. Boom, boom. Update your ATIS. What do we got for altimeters? 3001, 3001. Oh, we're still not aligned. You know what? We got to hit the align button on the McDo. 3001. That's my bad. Why are we not aligned here? There we go. That's why. My fault. My fault. I should have had IRS align earlier. Still waiting on the alignment. There's no bug with the alignment, is there? Main deck door not closed. We'll go ahead and close that up. Exits, main cargo. Commander says I'm going with you for the yoga. Excellent, man. Excellent. Christian, what is going on, man? It says, welcome back, Captain. Christian, welcome, man. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you on board, dude. Feels good to be back. Dimitri says, V1, remember Toga greater than Flex, more so in this bird. Oh, yeah. Dude, this bird is so powerful, man. You take off Toga without really needing it. When you're light, you are going to climb like a rocket. Don't forget to set the preset speed, swim knots above the VFTO speed in the FMC. You're looking for V2 plus 20? Don't forget to set the preset speeds. 20 knots above. I'll have to look at that. Alright, doors are closed up here. IRS is in a line, so that should mean we won't have much longer to go. Let's see, we are not missing anything here. Nothing company route, no alternate required. We got plenty of gas. We got a lot of extra gas, actually. What do we got? 5 minutes to go. I guess because I didn't hit a line when we'll go ahead and lock that. Because I didn't hit a line. I'll go APU. Let's check our volts and amps here. That looks good. And so that's why it took forever to align. That's on me. That's on me. Everything else looks good. Let's go ahead and get the beacon on. We can go ahead and start up. It takes about 3 minutes to start engines anyway, so we can go ahead and start even though we are not fully aligned yet. So you probably would have to wait for a full alignment, but I know it will align. So let's go ahead and crank engine numero 1. So we're going to use, let's see, today is an odd day. It's the 25th, right? So we're going to use system B. You do not have to isolate the bleeds like I did in my pre-start video. I was not aware that the A300 had the auto pack off logic that the narrow-body Airbus has even back then. I mean, back then, that is, maybe someone can look it up, but I think that might be one of the first airplanes, one of the first commercial jets that had an auto pack logic where you don't come over here and shut the packs off like you do on the Dinosaur, or excuse me, I mean the 737. So let's go ahead and start engine 1, start valve open. And we're going to monitor the start. These things take a while. On the Pratts, you got to go to max motoring here for sure. How many people on board a cargo plane? I think we can have like 12 jump seaters. I don't know. We have to count the seats. Jeremy Harvey says, is this jet really as powerful in real life as it seems to be in the sim? I don't know 100% because I never flew the A300, but I do know from guys that fly it or flew it said that it was a pretty powerful airplane. And one of the biggest dangers of the A300, which I remember, I have my jump seating story on the A300 for you guys. I'll share with you here in a little bit. But one of the biggest things that guys that I know that flew the A300 talk about is in the event of a go-around, when you go full thrust, you get a very radical pitch change, or it's possible to get a very radical pitch change, so you got to be careful with that. 23.5, let's see if we can get 24% on the N2 before we add fuel. I think we'll get about 24. There's 24%. Let's go ahead and give it fuel here. We'll watch it. Did I give it fuel? Yes, I did. And there's our fuel flow. Should be coming up here in a minute. EGT on the rise. Now I feel like the sounds are not as juicy as they used to be here. Here they come. Stuart Payne, what happened there? I don't know why Nightbot nailed you there, man. Nightbot is on a rampage right now. I'm sorry, Stuart Payne, dude. He says, I just want something like the Torque Sim SR22 and Microsoft level of detail and physics as per out engine mods we have previously seen. And they also said, I flew to Canada with the military on one, starting Staring at Amazon packages for 9 hours. Jeez. I don't know why Nightbot nailed you there, Stuart. I'm going to take a look into it. If he continues to act up, I'll put the ban hammer on my old Nightbot there. I think everybody's in a pretty good mood. Everyone's pretty good to be. Feels good to be here. We don't have any issues right now. Jeremy says, look at the engine page on the ECAM. It looks really close to our modern Airbus jets. Very close to it, man. Yeah, we'll go through the ECAMs here in a little bit. We'll go ahead and fire up engine number 2 as well while we're sitting here. Our line should be done here any minute. There's our N2 on the rise. What's going on up here? It should be less than a minute for the alignment. Hopefully by the time this engine's started, we'll be ready to roll. A little out of order there. That's on me. XP72, what's going on, man? Good to see you in the live stream. Been watching a lot of your videos, man, incognito. I didn't have the bandwidth to watch your live stream and comment at the same time. It was just, my internet was absolutely trash, man. But I've been watching, I actually watched your, was it FS 2020 video? Where the Airbus, you're going into DC. A little late deployment of the gear there, but man, you did a fantastic job doing the river visual. It was absolutely fantastic, man. I've been loving your streams lately. Gerald McKinley, welcome to Commercial Pilot. Welcome back to Commercial Pilot. I see your Captain Stripes there says, updated the payments. Awesome. And 24.1, that looks like max motoring. Let's go ahead and give it some fuel. There's our oil low pressure light comes on. EGT is on the rise. Closely monitoring our engine instruments here. Here comes our oil pressure, 31. This is a Delta T. Should get fuel flow here in just a little bit. There he goes. Starts to move. Oil light is out. I love this airplane. There's a good start. We heard the click over, so we can go ahead and get rid of the ignition. We'll go ahead and turn that off. APU bleed can come off, and APU master switch can come off. One last look at the overhead, making sure everything is looking good here. I'm going to check my volts and amps. Gen 1, Gen 2 are operating normal. We'll leave that on the essential TR for now. Everything is on. White lights out. I think we're just about ready to get out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Now that our flight plan is in the box, we'll go constraint mode. Yep, that looks good.
Subscriber ahead. Look.
350167. We can go ahead and profile, and nav mode is armed. Flaps 15 and O. Check out these flap sounds. Let me give you the juice view here. The slats come off the leading edge. Oh, I couldn't find the view there. Probably totally just destroyed all the stuff there. Thank you for the subscribe there, Sassy. Appreciate it, man. CJ says, hey everyone, what do you think about the flight model on the A320neo? We are going to talk all A320neo stuff, Flight Sim 2020, when we get in cruise. I got a lot I want to talk to you guys about when we get up there. So let me just get this bird airborne. We got 2 good starts. I'm going to run a quick checklist here because I feel like I'm distracted running a stream, man. It's just I get out of sync here. I'm out of practice. I'm back to rookie moves here. All right, we after start pitch trim. Ooh, that's why you do this. 0.8 down, so right about there. That looks good. All right, here we go. Pitch trim, rudder trim, 0. Spoilers are armed now. Slats, flaps, 15-0. ECAM status check. Anti-ice as required. Hand signal received. That looks good to me. Brakes off. Lights on. We can go ahead and taxi straight forward, I believe. This is the one thing that throws me off, man. This taxi light should be over here. At least that's what I'm used to. Oh, you know what? We can't taxi straight forward. Actually, I think the tug is broken. Screw it. We're gonna do a hard left turn out here. Oh man, I don't have my rudder pedal secured to the floor either. That's no good. I'll go back to my taxi view. Make the left turn out. We're gonna head to 30. I don't know, is pushback kind of worked in Vulcan? I know it used to be, and I never updated it, so I can't imagine that it's not worked right now. Alright. And I need to get rid of this Lua script there. I got all kinds of old plugins I need to get rid of. Let's see, is it fly with Lua? Hope that's the right one. Yep, there we go. Get rid of that red light off. Oh my ears, good night. Are your ears deaf? Because mine are deaf. Let me turn this down a little bit. Sorry about that. Let's go. Your back altimeter's not sit correctly. It should be synced. Is it not synced? Not synced. Is that one synced over there? These should all be synced. No, they're not synced. Okay, so I'm going to have to change that in the settings. This is the new version that I never updated my preferences. I normally fly, I'll show you my preferences here in a minute before we take off, but I normally sync everything up. Thank you for the subscribe there, Nicholas B. I sync up the altimeters and stuff because having one person flying this airplane, it's kind of ridiculous to reach over to the FO side and set his altimeter or turn his flight director off or whatever it may be. So that's all right. We are going here. Thank you for the subscribe, man. Appreciate it. You need to update pushback. There we go. Yeah. So good thing I didn't do it. There's a lot of things I need to update, but really, I've been flying a lot of Microsoft 120, so I haven't really had a chance to go through all my plugins and get them operating properly. Robert S, how's it going, man? Good to see you here. I'm doing well. Good to see you on the stream, my friend. 300 is kind of loud. Definitely. It is a loud airplane, man. Tried jump seating in the back of one at 3 o'clock in the morning, going from Philly to Louisville. Ugh. Miserable. 2-leg jump seat to get home over Christmas. Never again. Alright, I'm going to turn down the volume a tad here. Alright, let's see if we can go outside again. That shouldn't be as bad. I love the throwback livery. I do too, man. I really like the single brown stripe as I'm all over the taxiway. So my rudder pedals are sitting on carpet right now, and I don't have anything behind them, so when I press on them, they start sliding further and further away from me, and eventually they get out of reach. So it's pretty interesting. I also forgot to set the transponder. Let's go ahead and put you, since we're ready to TARA, we'll do a takeoff config test. Takeoff config is normal. And of course, we should have done our flight controls. I'm looking over here. Flight controls are checked. 167.350 profile is set. And before takeoff, flight controls check. Breathing complete. Slats flaps 15.0 performance is set. Takeoff config check. Transponder TRA. Cabin crew is not on the airplane. TCAS TRA. Packs, ignition, and anti-ice as required. Packs are on. Ignition not required. Anti-ice not required. We are ready to go. Man, 228 viewers already. I appreciate it, guys. Appreciate you guys tuning in to the first stream. V1 is back. I didn't even make a big announcement on my Discord yet, so appreciate you guys tuning in. Pilot Peely says, hey, V1, good to see you live again. It's good to see you, Pilot Peely. Welcome, man. Carter says, don't forget to show some of those love for A320 Pratt & Whitney engines. Oh, yeah. We're going to be doing some 320 stuff with those Pratts, man. Carta is the man for his neo-modded engines, for sure. Last reverb, am I too late? You're not too late, man. Welcome. We are just getting ready to take off from Oakland. Alright, we've all checklists are done. We'll get our lights on here. Again, no ATC today just because I'm trying to minimize all network use and isolate loose ends for possible network issues. Runway 30 confirmed. I love the sound of taxiing this airplane around. You get that little low, it's like a low tone whine. Gosh, it's great. Before we take off, I'm going to change some preferences in the EFB though, because I can see the FO site is not properly set up. I'll go ahead and line up in the wait here, runway 30 for Settings. Oh, this will probably clear out all my speeds, won't it? Probably. Here we go. Link on. Link on. I just think this is more realistic when you are flying solo on X-Plane. I don't like that. Nose resetting. Yaw. Reset as good. Shadows plug-in off. We can turn the environmental down just a tad. I think I had it right about there. 1,000 feet acceleration 2. RAS off. We'll save that. Now, I wonder if that deleted my speeds. Let's take a quick look at our speeds. Make sure weight units clear. Uh-oh. Hopefully we'll be alright. I think we're still okay. Nav extra upgrade, GPS primary, that's all good. Speeds are still in there. 173.8 down. Alright, we're ready to go, guys. Let's spool it up. 50%. Our little Toga push button is hidden here. Let the engine stabilize. Oop, auto brakes max, I forgot that. And yoga. Listen to those engines ripping out. I love it. Just so you guys can see. Full forward pressure on the stick, 80 knots, thrust set. Man, listen to those engines humming. I apologize, I'm going down the runway like a drunk driver. It's because my pedals are slipping all over the place. Look at the acceleration on this bird. V1. Rotate. Positive rate. Gear up. And we are out of here. Pretty good on the trim there. Pretty perfectly trimmed. There's our acceleration altitude. I think I'll leave this in the bottom left corner. Maybe I'll just leave it right there. There's our slat speed. We'll go ahead and flaps, or slats 0. We'll go ahead and neutralize the gear lever. Disarm the spoid brakes. And we're climbing out 250. Only to 250 knots. Whoa. Somewhat of gravic illusion there, flying into the clouds. This plane hand flies so nice. I'm sure you guys have already experienced it by now, but I love hand flying the A300. Here comes the right turn over marsh. And we might be... What's our outside air temperature? Plus 18, and we're looking good. We'd be looking a hell of a lot better if I could actually fly the flight director. They still haven't fixed that little black square in the middle, I don't think. Filed a bug report for that. This little square should be black, kind of like the rest of these flight directors are. Drives me nuts. Breaking through the clouds there. Let's go ahead and turn the autopilot on because I want to look around. This is a good view coming out here. Autopilot 1 is on. We are looking good. Climbing out of the old Oakland, California, San Francisco off the left-hand side of the aircraft here. Max thrust, max volume. Yes, sir. What's your indicator for positive rate? Gear up. Positive trend on your instruments that you have a positive climb. So whether it's your VSI, your altimeter, you want to look at a couple different things. And of course, when you're visual like that, you can see and feel that you're climbing. You don't just want to look at one instrument and say positive rates. The whole situation. Carter says, especially with hand flying with the yoke. I know, if hand flying this bird with the yoke is, it's different for sure, man. I'm not used to this yoke business. I still miss my side stick. Was trim set? Yes, it was set 0.8 down. A little quieter there over the wing. Wash 176. Man, you seem like a really chill captain to fly with as a new FO. Appreciate that, Wash. I appreciate that, man. I try to be. I got a good story coming up for you guys that are members of the channel and you like listening to the podcast. So I skipped the V1 After Dark podcast for August just because it was right in the middle of our move, our second move, and there was just too much going on. But the next podcast coming out here, I'm going to work on it this weekend. Hopefully I'll get it out here. I'll open up some questions for my commercial members as well. But I have a story, a pretty good story I want to tell you guys about. It's going to be the first time and the only time in my career that I have ever, as I was operating as a first officer, the first time that I had ever just said, you fly the airplane, I'm going to run the checklist, just because of a major personality clash. So it's a good story. It talks about CRM in there, so we're through 10. If you guys are looking forward to that, that'll be on the podcast coming up here for this month. We're at 10,000 feet. Lights are coming off. We don't need our seatbelt sign on. There's really nobody on the airplane anyway. Pressurization looks good. You always want to verify our pressurization is working. System 1. So this is something here that the Airbus, the narrow-body Airbus, we have a very similar system to this. However, it's automatic. So instead of this being on System 1, manually changing it to select System 2, the Airbus, the narrow-body, will actually alternate it for you. So that's kind of a cool thing. But you can see here we're climbing up. Everything looks good on that. That looks good there. So we're doing 99, so we are climbing fast. Let's look at our ECAM pages here. Engines, hydraulics. Wow, look at that. Very nice representation. Whoa, that scared me. There's a Gen 1, Gen 2 off. Everything looks good, though. Those are online. Electric DC power. Normal, indicating bleed pressure. Beautiful. Now, I think this is, let me get some air to, how about there? Auto, bulk cargo. Yeah, so there we go. So you can put it to bulk. Depends on what kind of cargo you're carrying, I guess. If I put this on bulk, I saw it change over once. I think it'll change back over again. We'll get some air conditioning. No? Maybe I'm going crazy. We'll leave it on bulk. We'll see if that changes. We're through 18,000 feet. We'll go ahead and pull for standard. Set 1, 2, and 3. I believe it syncs them all up now. I think we are all synced up. Yes, we are. And FO needs to have his flight director on. So, flight director on. There we go. Now I think we're all synced up. Alright, we are well on our way. We'll zoom the range out a little bit. After Grateful, let's go ahead and park it out here. Take a look at Northern California. Get back to some of the chat messages here. Carter says the question is 300 GE or Pratt & Whitney. I don't know, man. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. The 300, I like them both, to be honest with you. Jeremy Harvey says the wing textures on this jet are so good. I agree. The wing textures are fantastic. The closed captions for the stream is way off. Is there a way to turn closed caption off? Unless you have, I think you might have it enabled on. You should be able to turn it off. Well, I'm messing with the stream settings a little bit. I don't want to do that if I don't have to. But hopefully it hasn't been too bad. I'm looking at my dropped frames right now. I'm showing 1.6% dropped frames, so not terrible. Good PBRs there on the wings, yeah, man. And what I see in 21 or in 1080p is even better than what you guys are seeing through the YouTube rendering process. But they are fantastic. Or PBR on the wings. I think you're being sarcastic, maybe. They're talking textures. Do the ailerons drop with the flaps like the DC-10? The flapperon Manny Pilot 85. Yes, they do. So you got a flapperon right here. but I do not believe it's like a DLC. I know the was the L1011 that had the direct lift control, or the DLC. I'd have to read up on it. I don't know if this operates like a DLC, but I know that this flaperon drops with flaps. Actually, this comes down when you go slats 15. You actually drop the flaperon as well. Robert S. says, I'm starting my ultralight aircraft license now. Thanks for the inspiration to get the job of pilot. Robert S., man. Fantastic, dude. That is awesome. Hats off to all the pilots out there, you guys in training that have taken up flight lessons and have gone and done some training. You guys are awesome. I love seeing the updates you guys post in the real world section of the Discord. It's fantastic. Seeing you guys doing your flight training lessons and hearing the progress of each and every one of you going through the steps is really cool. I love seeing that. Oh, I just hit my joystick. I hope I didn't disconnect the autopilot. Nope, everything is still on there. We're good. We're at 24,000, climbing 350. Looking good. I scrolled way back in the chat there to get up to the messages, so I apologize that I'm reading from quite a while back in the stream, but I'm trying to catch up on some of the stuff here. I just feel like I haven't seen you guys in so long. I feel like I can't miss any messages. Clear Direct Fubar said, speaking of the seatbelt sign, when do you typically turn it off during your climbing cruise? Maybe at a 24,000 feet or so, depending on how the ride is, or maybe a couple thousand feet prior to level off. Unless I know it's going to be smooth, I'll leave it on until I'm about 1,000 feet or so to level off. That way, climbing through, sometimes you're going to hit some rough air that you just, I don't know, instead of turning on and off. Plus the flight attendants going through the cabin doing their thing, it's easier to just keep everybody seated until we get to cruise. But that's at the discretion of the flight crew. Edwin Lee super chatted with 5 pounds, dude. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. He says, I just landed in Barcelona in my A350. Edwin Lee, fantastic, man. Awesome. Thank you so much for your support on the channel. Really appreciate that, dude. Wojtek says, hi on cabin temp. What does XX show on analog display? So Wojtek, that was actually the bulk cargo. I turned the ventilation to bulk. We'll see if it doesn't have the amber excess when we'll do a check here when we level off, for sure. But that means that I think you can direct which sections of the aircraft are getting air conditioning, and I think that would depend on what type of cargo you're carrying. So, fun story. When I was flying cargo in turboprops, I would actually take, sounds kind of gross, but bull semen, and that would be something that would be on my aircraft. And as soon as I would get into Dallas, they would take that cargo and put it on an A300, or actually I think it was going on MD-11s at the time, and it was time sensitive and it had to be at a certain temperature, and it actually be shipped over to Asia. So they use it for farming and stuff out there. It's actually really high dollar stuff. So whenever I was carrying the reproductive materials of bulls and steers and stuff, they would give me priority offload because it was all time critical stuff. So, and then it would go on. I'd pull into the ramp of my little Beech 99, and they'd offload me, and they'd put it on a big jet, and then it would go overseas. So, I always liked carrying that stuff because I didn't have to offload the cargo when I got into base. Miss Jungles, welcome back. Good to see you on board. Welcome back, people. Thank you, Miss Jungles. I appreciate it. It's been a while. We are trying to get through some of the drop frame stuff here. I notice I'm seeing it's starting to pick up more drop frames. I don't know why that's happening. I don't know what's going on there. I know it's starting to stutter a little bit more. Fun fact, the A300 does not have outboard ailerons. Out on the wingtips. Uh-oh. Why is YouTube... I don't know why it's not receiving enough video. Let's see here. Having stream issues again. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, Will Pine says this. Just heads up, the stream is skipping forward 1 to 2 seconds every 30 seconds or so. Yeah, I see that. And I'm trying to correct it here. Yeah, it says the frames are dropping. Alright, so let me ask you this. When the frames drop and it freezes, do you guys still hear me? Or is my voice skipping as well with the audio? It'll help me kind of determine what's happening here. Is it just the images, or is the audio chopping out as well? Let's see what's going on here. Maybe I can try to... Oh boy. Don't do this to me now. I'm working on it. Voice does skip sometimes. Okay. Let me see if I can get to this here. I'm going to set you into this mode. I'm trying to figure out why would this be, because it doesn't seem like a bandwidth issue, because I'm only sending... It's only requesting like 2 megabytes up, and I've got up to 11 or 12, so something else is causing this issue. What if I change views? Maybe try not setting the resolution size. 720 is enough. It should be 720. I should be streaming in 720p right now, so that's why I've already lowered that. Dangerous Brain says, or Brian says, I hear you loud and clear. Type in chat, it has a delay. Maybe try it, yeah. So David Go, my PC is directly connected to the router, but the router is Wi-Fi out. It's like a Wi-Fi connection. So I'm wondering why. But like I don't know why it would just all of a sudden go unless I'm being throttled for some reason. It is a Wi-Fi connection, Wilpine, and that I'm assuming that would be my assumption. Mark's Landing and Aviation says, Alright, hold on. It says it's healthy now. Let's see what happens here. Let's give it a couple seconds to see if it recovers here. YouTube has gone back to green. Is this airplane worth it? Hey man, if you still have X-Plane 11 and you're still flying X-Plane 11 and you like airliners, I definitely think this airplane is worth it, man. Because it is I think it was one of the smoothest releases we've ever had for X-Plane as far as airliners go. I'm trying to get my bulk cargo air. There we go. There's our bulk air. Now we got air going to the bulk, but now we lose the aft section. So that's what that is. Interesting. All right, we'll just go with CRT. That's fine. And we'll go back to engine monitor. Nope, YouTube's losing it again. No, the PC, yeah, I don't think the PC is struggling. I think this is a Wi-Fi issue, man. I definitely think, yeah, I think it is. It says going to need to go over Ethernet cable. Yes. Maybe I should hit the restart button on the airplane. Well, here's the thing, David. So I have an Ethernet cable from the router to my PC, but the internet out here is I think it's a Wi-Fi connection, right? So my house is Wi-Fi to a tower. So it's not like there's a hard cable coming into the house. And I think that might be what the issue is. Is it a wireless external? It won't matter when it comes to any wireless connection. Any environment changes, interference will cause jitter and loss of frames. Right, any environmental, maybe even the sun position, maybe, who knows, right? Yeah, I could see the replay is still skipping. Yeah, I've got an upload speed of 12, David Glow, or David Gow. I have an upload speed of 12. And YouTube is saying it's healthy, but I can see it wanting to freeze up. Yeah, I just don't think it's going to be very stable and long. That's what I was afraid of, and I don't know if there's another ISP that is in the area, since we are a little bit further out now, that has... Let's see, sometimes... that has Ethernet directly in. I'm going to have to do some more shopping here. This was the ISP that had the faster upload, but... Wash176 says, in real life operations as a captain, if you move up to bigger equipment, say the 320 to the 330, do you go as a FO or do you retain your rank as captain? It's all seniority based, so essentially it depends on where your seniority puts you at an airplane. So a lot of guys that are, think of it in the opposite direction. If you're a 330 FO, you can probably hold 320 captain. But it just depends on what people want at that airline. So it's not necessarily, oh, if you're a captain on one airframe, you get to be a captain on the other airframe, or an FO on an FO. It's where your seniority and what people want. So your seniority is based off of when you get hired, and it runs your career at that airline, essentially. So if somebody is hired before you and they want to be a captain, they have priority to that captain slot over you, and that's independent on airframes as well. Clear Direct Fubar says, that's it, time to move again, V1. Oh, man. I really hope not, man. I can see it in the preview still freezing up. I don't know, yeah, every 30 seconds or so. How many space it took to USA for the USA Ortho? This is actually ORBX. This is ORBX, Northern California and Oregon. Man, I'm bumming at this drop frame. See, I did a test flight though, and it was totally fine. And I think it totally just depends on the day, right? On the internet at the time. Team Vodka says, if you find an ISP that has cabled or fiber to the house, ask if you can get 2 circuits, then you can double your upload if you have a load balancing router. Okay, that is noted, Team Vodka. I will look into that. Man, I don't know. It's pretty choppy there. Should we even continue? I'll continue a little bit longer. We'll see what happens here. Yeah, the hardest part about this move, man, is I missed that fiber. I had 1G fiber at the last house, and it was great, but we moved out into the sticks quite a bit here, so it's hard finding good quality internet, that's for sure. David Gass says, this is my first stream here, but I've watched all the rebroadcasts the past couple of weeks. I appreciate it, man. I'm sorry that your first time here get to experience some internet issues, which was my biggest fear, man. My biggest fear watching this was having internet issues. Well, Neil says, well, we're back together, and that's quite something at the least. I appreciate it, man. Total bummer. I'm gonna be doing some more digging. And Andre says, V1, hey, Andre, how's it going, man? Good to see you here. He says, V1, you might call your ISP and explain them that you are a streamer. Maybe they can also help on their side with the channel. That is a good point. You know, it's funny, when I had the internet guys out here at the house, the installer, the gentleman, actually mentioned that, I think he said his father-in-law or something watches the channel, or there was some relation, I think. I don't know if he was mistaken or not, but I thought that was kind of cool. Dimitri says, try going custom weather and KOAK. Okay, we can do that, man. I don't think it's an X-plane issue, though. Because it's, right now, the last 30 seconds seem to have been pretty stable. I'm not going to change it. If it gets bad again, I'll change it. But my X-plane is running locked at like 60 frames, man. Vulcan just crushing X-plane. My CPU is only at 45%. My GPU is at 64%. And my Ethernet is, I can see what's happening though. It's spiking up and down pretty hardcore. Well, while it seems to be semi-smooth now, we'll continue on. We'll continue on here. I'm not going to change anything until it starts to get all jacked up. Max Frank says, so when typing an aviation question to the stream, but actually type in via Jabba at work and send it to your boss, that caused some confusion on my end. But actually type it via Jabba at work and send it to your boss. So when typing aviation... Oh... I see you did. That's funny, man. Carter says, round trip between your PC and YouTube would be varying too much. Most voice can cope up to 300 milliseconds, and I've seen wireless connections hit over 1,000 ms at times. Video would be worse. I got you. Clear Direct Fubar says, I'm giving your internet the bird, but seriously, I'll take a stream with missing frames anytime if you're doing it. Clear Direct Fubar, man, huge cheers to you, dude. I appreciate that. It's definitely disheartening, man. I'm telling you, man, I've been sweating. That's why I haven't streamed. I've been in the house. We've been in the new house now, I think, just over 2 weeks, or like right at 2 weeks, 15 days. And, the first week it took a while to get everything moved in. And then the last week I've just been running test stream and tweak. And I had a fear of this. But I also noticed, it depends on load on the antenna as well, so that's why I moved the stream up earlier in the day. I figured there'd be less people on, and maybe that would help out, but we'll see. Dougal says, speak to XP72, it's his job. That's right, I'll have to hit up XP, man. Maybe I'll fly him out here and have him scold some of the Next Link guys, see if he can help me out. Oh, it could cause issues when updating weather, but for the rest of the time, I doubt it. That's an interesting point. Maybe that's what you were getting at, Dimitri. That's what Neil said. It's like, so because I'm running real weather, so maybe it's trying to pull more. That would be interesting. All right. Yeah, Team Valve says, def for the Wi-Fi, especially over distance, there's always some loss. David says, are you going to get a 30 series graphics card when you get the chance? Imagine the scenery of Flight Sim. Oh, yeah. It's happening, David. I think when that... But I'm going to do it. I'm going to wait for the big boy to come out. I think, what is the 3070 or something? Whatever the one, not the, there's, I think there's three, right? There's like a high end, a middle, and then a lower end one. But even the lower end one is faster than what we have now. So I'm definitely going to get a 30 series card here in due time. There's just been a lot of stuff happening, as you can imagine, between moving and all this stuff. So. Have I been trying the A320 mod for Microsoft Flight Simulator? Yes, I have. Do you believe they could be able to get it to study level? So, study level, let me do, hold on, they're telling me to go to KOAK. I'm going to do that right now. We're going to go, flight configuration, customize. I'm just going to do manually configured and KOAK. Done. Apply. We'll just let it roll like that. 3090, there we go, 3090, thank you. Thank you for the subscribe there, man, appreciate it. Pat Aviation, so yeah, definitely do it. But as far as Microsoft 2020, let's talk about 2020 Microsoft, man. I'm loving it. I'm loving it for GA stuff. I know there's really no good airliners in there right now, but the Airbus, yes, the mod team that's working on it, they actually, I'm actually in their Discord, and, I've got the pilot role, whatever, and I believe I can't think of his name. I can see his little emoji in the Discord, but I PM'd him a couple times. But yeah, they're working on making it something like the Zebo. Now, I don't know how the development kits work and everything for Microsoft 2020 platform, but from what they've done already, I think it is a gigantic improvement over what the default airplane was. Now, how far will it go? Time will only tell. They're working hard. If you're in their Discord for the A32X project, I believe it's called, they are constantly working on that back and forth. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes. Now, for for as far as a simulator platform purposes, Microsoft Flight Sim is no doubt the most beautiful flight sim that I think I've seen. As much as I can put into X-Plane with ORBX and the clouds and just the lighting in 2020 is just I don't know. There's something about it that draws me in, and it's kind of like an addiction. But as far as the airplanes go right now, airliner-wise, I just can't do it. I can't bring myself to fly the airliners really, other than the A320X project that they got there on the default Neo. You probably won't see me stream a lot of airliner stuff in Flight Sim 2020 until we get some better aircraft out there, because it just seems too much like I don't want to say like a game, but it kind of is as far as the airliners go. Now, bush flying, GA flying, is one of my favorite things to do in Flight Sim 2020. I have taken up the little 172, the round gauge, and just gone all over Texas with it. I've flown all my old airports and things like that. It is really, really fun to fly GA and light aircraft in Flight Sim 2020, and I'm looking forward to maybe doing some more stuff down the line, like maybe doing a private pilot ground school stuff. And I wanted to continue the citation series in Flight Sim 2020, but I just can't do it with those airplanes. Now, my biggest gripe with the GA stuff right now is that there's a lack of round gauge airplanes. And the reason why I don't like the G1000 in Flight Sim 2020 is because if anybody in the chat here has used a real G1000, you know the capabilities of the G1000. You know how much it can do. So you also know then how terrible and how lacking the base G1000 is in Flight Sim 2020. And what bothers me is they literally just copied and pasted that airplane. Actually, I wanted to go out the other wing here. I want to go front. There we go, as we go over the mountains. They've basically copied and pasted that same G1000 into all the little airplanes, and I just that bothers me. Now, I saw Captain Tom flying around with a Mooney that had a round gauge, which I'm going to pick up probably this weekend, and I want to fly that around because round gauge flying is where it's at. It seems so much more realistic. The G1000 that they have as a base model, it is not very realistic at all, and it kind of a pet peeve in mine. It just bothers me. So I'm going to turn up the X-plane volume there a little bit. I think it was a little low. Iceman, that's exactly right. There's Iceman. Oh, there he is. He says, Will Pine says, you're probably talking about me. I'm Iceman on the Discord. Will, that's right, man. Iceman, I could see your little emoji on the Discord. I couldn't think of your handle there. Will, awesome, man. Glad to have you in chat. Huge, big ups to one and only Iceman in chat, says Dougal. Absolutely. I appreciate it. Will, you guys are doing a heck of a job, man. What you've done already in that Airbus has made me fly it a lot longer than I would have flown it if we just were stuck with that default 320, because the default plane, as you guys know, it just is not up to par. But being able to have ECAM pages now and seeing how it's been tweaked, it's really, really good. So, and I'm excited. I'm really excited to see how far the project goes, and being able to have a Zebo-esque type Airbus in Flight Sim would be pretty sweet for sure. So keep up the hard work, man. I know you guys are just tearing it up in that Discord. So that's awesome. Welcome to the stream, man. Glad to have you on board. Edwin Lee says, looks like going KOAK has done the job, Captain. I think so. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Right now we seem to be holding steady. So shout out to Dimitri, man. Thinking ahead about the X-plane trying to pull in real data from the internet and also working the connection. So good call. Good call, guys. Will Pine says the G1000 is completely wrong in Flight Sim. I know, man, exactly. So I can't bring myself to use it. But I love flying the GA airplanes, and it just bothers me that there's no GA airplanes that don't have the G1000 except the 172, and I think there's a Mooney now, which I have to pick up. I haven't actually tried it yet. Julian D. Ramondi, man. It's been 3 months and I still can't get your last name right. What's going on, dude? He says, hi, Captain. How are you doing? Hope you and your family are doing well in these times. It's been a while. Can't believe I almost missed your live stream. Glad to see you back. Giuliandi, man, glad to have you here. Thank you for those kind of words. It's I didn't post the notification in the Discord for that reason. I just we're still working through some kinks here with getting proper internet and getting the connection to be stable for streaming. So I wanted this was kind of like a soft launch, if you will, back to the streams. But it feels good to be back, man. It feels good to be back. Heck, if it all goes to crap, I'll just start doing a live podcast. We don't even have to stream anymore if it gets to that point, because I miss interacting with you guys. I really, truly do. I feel like the V1 community is just one of those. It's just a community that we've all been together for quite some time, and we all are kind of like-minded, and I really enjoy hanging out with you guys. And that's, to me, flying comes second here when I'm streaming. It's hanging out with you guys that I enjoy the most. Mark's Landing and Aviation Viz says Microsoft just partnered with Cessna, and they said we created the simulator for the most realistic experience. FX the G1000. Oh, man. Dougal says, Will Pine, I appreciate it's a team, but I'm enormously greatly stepped up to the mark. Oh, you were talking to Will. Sorry about that. Can you imagine an INI A300 or IXEG level for Flight Sim 2020? I cannot, man. And if it happens, we know PMDG is making their way over. It's going to be fun, that's for sure. It's probably X-Plane that has the best recreation of the Garmin G1000. I totally agree. So I think I would say the TBM, what is it, TBM 900, I think has a pretty darn good G1000. It's still missing stuff, definitely. Don't get me wrong, it's still missing stuff, but the TBM 900 G1000 is pretty sharp. Will Pine says all the credit for the mod goes to the hardworking people on the Discord. I'll just take credit for the Door Ecam page. Hey man, that Door Ecam page is very important though. Carta, 152 is round gauged. Yes, I'm sorry. So I was flying the 152 around then. And the 172. Yeah, but I mean, if I can find the one, I'll take the 172 or the 152 every day of the week and twice on Sunday, man. 152 just gives me PTSD from when I was doing my first flight training in the 152. Oh, man. A giveaway $25 voucher and TCA side stick in the first SimWings group flight of FS 2020, Saturday, September 26th. That's tomorrow. Awesome stuff, Dougal. Can I participate in the giveaway there, man? No, I'm just messing with you. That's awesome. So 1900Z, I feel like I should know what that is. Is that, that's now, right? Is that 12 noon? My time? Man, I don't think I'm going to be able to... Oh, man, I'll have to see. I'll see if I can move some stuff around. Kartik, he says, what's up, V1? Have you taken a look at the AeroWinks PSX 744? High-fidelity replica of the 7.4. Now they have figured out a way to connect it up with Microsoft 2020. No, I have not, Kartik. I have not at all. I will look into that, though. AeroWinks PSX 7.4. Interesting. Glad to see you're back. Big congrats on the new house. It's awesome. Thank you, Kartik. I appreciate it, man. Welcome to the stream. I thought it was the bourbon you liked most about this. Do you know what, Team Vodka? Okay, so it goes hanging out with you guys, then the bourbon. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's the bourbon that makes hanging out with you guys so fun. So, yeah, maybe it's bourbon, you guys, and then the stream. But when I'm streaming at 11 a.m., I can't be doing the bourbon just yet. That's a little early. I mean, maybe over the weekend. If we do a stream over the weekend, I could do the bourbon at 11 a.m., but we'll see. Dylan says, way to go, boys. Seems to be smooth now. Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully we'll lock it in for the rest of the flight. If we can lock it in for the whole flight without the, the occasional bump here and there. Sometimes when I switch views, it can get a little whack, but we'll see here. We'll keep going. I'm afraid to go into the cockpit there and screw up the stream again. Carter says, Aerosoft CRJ 700 that's coming out. I have not seen that either, man. I have not. This is literally the last week I have been trying to find a way to get the stream to work smoothly. I have not paid any attention to new add-ons coming out, new plugins. I have been so out of the loop. So I'm finally getting settled in, and I really want the stream to be smooth because I have a nice announcement for you guys that I'm going to share with you here in a little bit. Pretty big announcement. So I really want to get the stream ironed out for that announcement here. Where can I find your X-Plane settings? Death. I am running... I will, you know what, Death, if you're in the Discord, just tag me or post something in the Discord, say, can you post a screenshot of your X-Plane settings? Because I get this question all the time, and I've been meaning to do it, and I keep forgetting. I will post and pin a screenshot of my X-Plane settings in the Discord. I don't want to disrupt the stream right now just because I feel like I'm on pins and needles with the smoothness of the connection, but I'm pretty much running one step below high on everything, and it's... and then I run like a medium. My graphics card is I think at 2 notches below high because I have a 1070. Aaron Hastings, welcome to Private Pilot, man. Appreciate it, dude. Welcome to the channel. How about the flight model on FS 2020? Feels different than X-Plane. Any comments? So, sweet. The really only thing that I can comment, I'm not going to comment on the airliner stuff because I feel like it's not there yet. Now, I know the Airbus project is working towards becoming much more realistic in the fly-by-wire feel, but as far as the GA airplanes go, I don't know what it is about Flight Sim 2020 I like it. I really think Flight Sim 2020 has great GA flying characteristics, but I feel like I'm not going to get the full potential of the sim until we really get a high quality add-on, such as like the MilViz 310. That's one add-on that I know is going to come to Flight Sim, and I'm really looking forward to that. I flew that back on FSX. I love the MilViz stuff. MilViz products are pretty good. So when that comes to Flight Sim, then I'll really be able to have a better idea on what the sim is capable of as far as flight dynamics go. The one thing that I do not like, and I don't know if you guys have experienced this either, maybe you can let me know in chat, but I almost feel like there's a random turbulence bump in Flight Sim. I don't know where it comes from, and it's in all the airplanes. It doesn't matter if you're flying the Airbus or a Cessna. On a smooth, calm day, I feel like if I'm just flying straight and level, I'll get a random airplane shake. And I don't know if that's something built into the sim. I don't know if that's just me being crazy, and maybe that's the real weather, and there is bumps, because on certain days, yeah, you're going to get bumped around in random areas. So I don't know, but I feel like it's a little over-exaggerated. But as far as the lighting goes and the way, as far as on a streamer standpoint, being able to get in the sim and just load up and go and not have to worry that all my scenery is in the right order and all this stuff, and having to bother Dimitri with my CFG files and be like, hey, or not my CFG files, what am I talking about? My scenery files, my config scenery folder, make sure everything's in order there. I'm always bugging Dimitri. Hey man, I can't get my overlays and meshes and all that stuff. So from a streamer standpoint, being able to hop into the sim and just go from A to B, man, that is just such a relief. So that's that's my take so far on as far as the flying dynamics goes. I really want to see a third party come in that has a background of producing a high quality flight model before I pass my final judgment on Flight Simulator's flight characteristics. But as far as the visuals go, icing, actual turbulence, not just the random turbulence we were talking about, but going in and out of clouds that have turbulent or convective activity, it kind of blows my mind. And I don't know what draws me to it, but there's something on that platform that is really drawing me to it. Now, if this INI A300 was in FS 2020, I don't know if I'd still be on the X-Plane platform right now. But because we have such great airplanes in X-Plane, I can't close X-Plane. I can't get it out of my life because I love the A300. I love the tolless Airbuses. I like the Flight Factor 320. I don't really love it anymore just because I feel like Flight Factor screwed a lot of people with that. Just they empty promises, and the way their updates went have just kind of pissed me off. So, but I still enjoy it. It's a beautiful airplane. The Flight Factor 320 is probably one of the most beautiful 320s we have. But yeah, and then the FlyJ Sim stuff. So there's things that I love about X-Plane that are keeping me here. But as a platform itself, I'm drawn to Flight Sim. I really am. And it's like anything with flight simulators, guys. It's gonna take time. It's just, a year from now, what is 2020 gonna look like? What's X-Plane gonna look like? Who knows? What's X-Plane 12 gonna look like? But as far as airliner flying, you can't beat X-Plane, because this to me is a hardcore simulator for the sim enthusiast, which is what I think this channel was founded on. I know there's a huge boom in traffic to the channel when FS 2020 came out, and I was doing some FS 2020 videos. I think one of the highest viewed videos on my channel was a Flight Sim 2020 video, and that brings in a lot of new people. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, that's a great thing, but I feel like I connect more with the hardcore sim enthusiasts that really want to know the fine details, that want to sit and watch a 3-hour video in a professional series learning about the walk around and learning about little nuances in the airplane that you may or may not ever use in the sim, but at least you have the knowledge of it. Or like when I'm doing the cockpit overhead series, we're going through the cockpit of the overhead, talking about little things. I really think that those people that enjoy that stuff are the building blocks of this channel, and I feel like we're all kind of on the same page. And that's where I think X-Plane still is sitting number one, because when I fly X-Plane, I'm like, okay, this is serious time. Let's do it right. Let's get in, and let's be professional sim enthusiasts. But FS 2020 is a hell of a lot of fun. It really is, and I love getting in, flying around GA. So, Carter says, plus soon to getting those wing flicks back on the Flight Factor 320. Oh man, you're killing me. Will Pine says, out of curiosity, is coupled clearance and fans used much when flying in the U.S.? You know what? All of our new Neos has CP DLC, Will, but we're not flying much of them right now. So we're flying a lot of 319s just for the way COVID is working. And fans, FANS, call me a bad pilot, but I do not know what that acronym is. So I'm going to go ahead and say no, unless maybe you can tell me what the acronym is for fans. I don't know the acronym, but I know CPDLC. We've got it on our new birds. All the new birds are coming with it. I haven't used it. Man, I don't know. We had a little training module come out saying this is what you do, but I really haven't been using it much. Now, my buddy who flies corporate, and actually a lot of my corporate videos that I put out, and I referenced some of my time flying citations, they have a new, I think they have a new Challenger. And that's all they use is CPDLC. That's it. I mean, every time. Svady, what's up, man? He says, yes, you're definitely right. Taking care about scenery order and testing an X-plane takes a lot of time. Fortunately, there's X-Organizer, but it still needs your time. Microsoft is plug and play. Yep, I have X-Organizer. It was a huge help.
Subscriber ahead. Look up.
Kartik says, I hear Aerosoft CRJ-79 and the 1000 for flights in 2020 is being done in partnership with the Zobo. Interesting. And Exchange, Aerosoft is going to develop some parts for the SDK for 2020. Interesting, man. See, I'm learning all this stuff. This is why I love streaming. You guys have all the deets. Jungly Sim, what's going on, brother? He says, Ionaya's life and the passenger variant is coming soon. Yeah, when the passenger variant comes out and we can get 19 Adam to get us Pan Am livery, we might do a week of Pan Am flying, and I think that's where we're going to get the group flight. We'll get the group flight A300 with Pan Ams. We'll do a clipper party. Michael says, I love your overhead series. I appreciate it, man. Thank you, Michael. The funny thing enough about the overhead series is it's one of the most fun videos for me to do, and unfortunately it's like the least viewed video on the channel. Every time I push out an overhead video, it doesn't seem to get a lot of traffic. I think there's maybe like 1,500 to 2,000 people watch it, which is really, it's kind of a bummer for me because I love doing it. It's fun to do. It keeps me sharp. I actually dig into the books. I know we did that. I published that JipWiz video. We talked about all the terrain and being able to just get into the book and really think, okay, what was that mode again? Because like it's stuff that I knew for my type ride and I know for my check rides and recurrence and stuff, but then it kind of goes to the back of the brain compartment there. And then when I have to do a video on it, I'm like, okay, let me bring up my book. Let me refresh my memory. And I think that's really good. I love doing that. I love talking about the Airbus and systems in general. So Martin says, late to the stream. This is freaking awesome. I have to buy the A300. Martin, yes, sir. You got to buy it, man. Speaking of, I'm over here chatting. What are we doing? We need to descend pretty soon here. I'm not too worried about it. I've done this test flight about 400 times, so I know exactly what we need to do. I want to spend most of the time while we're nice and smooth answering questions and interacting with you guys. This is, like I said, kind of a soft launch back to streaming. But we will pull up our charts here. Let's see, KPDX, and we're landing 10 right. We're going to go DH. Maybe this will screw up the stream, loading that in here. 224 on the barrow. So we'll call it 225.
Donation.
Jeffrey, thank you so much, man, for the $3 a bomb. He's no message with your donation, man. I don't know if you meant to put one in there or not, but I appreciate your support on the channel. Thank you, Jeffrey. That is awesome, man. Thank you very much. All right, so we got 225 set. Let's go ahead and go down here. We're going to set up for the approach phase here. So 225 in the MDA. We are wind corrected 144 VAP. We're going to do a 30-40 landing just because it looks cooler. Actually, it's already set. We don't want to do 15-20. 30-40 looks cooler, sounds cooler. 144 on the VAP. MDA is 225. We won't activate the final approach phase just yet. Everything else looks good there. And we do need to put in our ILS frequency and course. I bet it's 110.5, and course is 103 here. And that's pretty much all we need to do for the Aero bus. 103 on the course. We're going to go auto brakes low because I don't want to use the rudder pedals if I can help it. We've already got 5,000 set, and transponder can go into below mode as we start down. And that concludes our briefing. Any questions? No? Cool deal. All right. Will Pine says apparently fans just first the use of CBDLC and ADSC. Just looked it up now. Okay, so Will, I might have to look it up as well. I don't want to lie to you and say that yeah we have it or don't have it. It'd be something I'd have to refresh my memory on. It's probably in that mandatory read file that came out that I haven't read yet. Just kidding. I read all my read files on time every time. Jeremy Harvey says, do you think you'd love being a check airman and giving type rating orders? Of course, man. I used to be a training captain for a couple different airplanes. But a check airman is, I would love doing the job, but there's a lot of other things that go along with it that at this point I'm really not interested in just yet. One of the things, schedule flexibility is huge. Being able to have control of your schedule is huge to me, especially having a little girl and another one on the way. So right now, being able to have control over my schedule and that flexibility is where I'm at. That's kind of why I'm doing what I'm doing. OT says it's currently pretty hard to develop for FS 2020 due to lack of documentation. Once either better documentation or a direct converter comes, a lot of devs, including myself, are beginning to diff for it. Awesome, OT. Good to hear it. And your Leesburg scenery. Check it out, guys. OT's got a Leesburg scenery on the Discord as well. I've actually got a story about Leesburg. I believe it is Leesburg, right? We'll do a stream out of there pretty soon, OT. But thanks for stopping by the stream, man. Good to have you on board. Thank you for the new members. I missed a member to Jared. Jared, man, appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Boboy says, I don't know what it is, but for some reason I don't like the older airline as such as the 300. Can you give another perspective on it? Oh, man, why don't you like... So what is it about the 300 that you don't like? What I personally like about the 300 is you get into this cockpit, and, I mean, you have things to do. Now, this is kind of a catch-22 thing, right? Because we have a new modern airplane. When I think of a modern Airbus A320, it does the same thing as this A300, but there is a lot less action required, physical action required by the flight crew to operate a modern jetliner. Now that is good, especially in real life situations, because that allows you to do what now? You have more time to monitor and manage the situation. You have a better situational awareness. Older aircraft, you have to manage your time a lot better, and you have to manage what you're doing because you have to not only do everything that the modern airliner can do, but you have to physically, press switches and set field altitudes and all this stuff that can take away from your situational awareness. But I personally enjoy that because it keeps you from getting bored quicker, essentially, I think. I'd be lying to you if I said, man, flying a narrow-body Airbus across the United States or down to South America is never boring 1 minute. No, I'm telling you what, after you reach not even top of climb, you hit 18,000 feet, you set standard, I'd be lying to you if I say it doesn't get boring. It does get, I won't say boring, I'll say monotonous, and it's very repetitive, and it's very easy to catch yourself becoming complacent and not staying as sharp as you should be. So these older airplanes don't allow that to happen to you because you have to be on it, because if you don't do something or you miss something, it's a lot easier to get in a bad situation. But I like that challenge. But they both do the same job. They're both great at doing it. The A300 is, I think, personally, that when you talk about the A300 specifically, I just think it is a really cool airplane because it was this airplane that really changed the forefront of aviation and commercial aviation as we know it. And being fans of Airbus in general, seeing the plane that really kicked it off and got it started is really cool. Being able to fly it in a simulator like X-Plane where we have a lot of nice things modeled really is cool. More stuff coming soon. By soon, you mean 4 months, OT. Awesome, man. Yeah, so I'm when I say soon, just call me Flight Factor soon, because I don't know. Yeah. Is it true that FAA are moving towards converting all airports to LPV? Does that mean bye-bye VOR? Dimitri, I don't know if it means bye-bye VOR just yet. They are still... So they did the same thing with NDB. So essentially what's happening with NDBs, at least in North America, when an NDB breaks or goes out of service, they aren't repairing it. It's just done and it's bye-bye. Now, VORs, I believe, are still being repaired. So if something goes wrong with the VOR, they still repair it. So I don't think it's going bye-bye just yet, but it is probably steps in that direction, Dimitri. It is steps in that direction of VORs eventually going bye-bye, but I think they're still going to be around for quite some time. All right, as we are descending into port, I'm going to buff up the sound a little bit there. How are we looking on our descent? We're 320 at a 2.2. A portal out of below 24, 270 knots. Things are looking good. Liam says, yeah, you're streaming again. Glad you're back, man. Glad to be back. So, I was going to say this little surprise. You guys will probably be seeing a heck of a lot more of me here, especially if I can get the streams to be consistently smooth. Because of the whole COVID situation and everything going on with the airlines, and right now, my job is safe right now. You know, I'm not being furloughed or anything, but airlines have taken steps to mitigate furloughs. And by mitigating furloughs, if you don't know what a furlough means, it essentially means you're out of a job, but you still keep your seniority number. So you don't get paid, but they can call you back and you can go back to work and kind of pick up where you left off, but you're not getting paid and you're essentially out of a job until that happens. So I'm not getting furloughed, but the steps to take to mitigate furloughs are things such as voluntary time off, or there's a bunch of different acronyms for them. Some call them voluntary incentive lead lines or SVB lines, but what it is it's you get paid a reduced amount of hours. I think it's like 70%, depending on the airline, between 70 and 75% of your normal paycheck, but you don't come to work. So that's kind of what's happening. I've elected to take a 3-month mitigation for furlough, so we can mitigate the amount of people that get furloughed. So what that means for you guys is the months of October, November, and December, you can expect a heck of a lot more content, and we're going to make up for lost time over the last 3 months. I know once I moved and I went to the apartment, the content kind of dropped off, but we're going to make up for that. I'm going to have a lot of time as soon as we get settled here. It's tough right now because we still have stuff in storage and we're still trying to get everything settled, but we are going to have more time. I'm going to be producing more content, and I'm actually thinking of redoing the Airbus professional series. And I'm thinking of redoing it with the Tolless A321. So, or just an updated version of that. And then, of course, the Citation series. I will finish that. I know a lot of you guys got upset at me that the landing version never came out. And that's on me. There were some things I found out that I just wasn't behaving the way I wanted it to. And I got frustrated, and then I put it on the back burner. And then everything just kind of fell apart, and I was like, well, I'm going to do it in Flight Sim 2020, and then I found out that the Citation in Flight Sim 2020 is basically an RC airplane with some really weird stuff that doesn't replicate the real thing. So then I'm back to the X-Plane version, and then the A300 came out, and now I'm just making excuses, but I will try to wrap up the Citation series as well. But I am going to update the professional series with the Tolless A321. Gio says, not sure if you saw my message earlier, but I'm out of Miami International because I'm still furloughed, but a brother can't sit. Got another gig, still fueling and driving a tanker truck. That's awesome, man. Gio, well, it's not awesome that you're still furloughed, dude. I'm sorry, but got another gig, fueling and driving a tanker truck, dude. That's fantastic, man. Good to hear it. If I'm ever in Miami, man, I'm going to have to hit you up. Are you driving a tanker truck still for like aviation fuel? Oh boy, YouTube is starting to do not nice things to me here. Let's see. All right, here we go. We're on the descent out of 16.6. We'll go ahead and set 2992. And they're all synced up, so that looks good. I don't know why YouTube is receiving an error message from me here. It says, yep, and we're back to healthy. So there was a buffer there. I think we're doing all right. We need to go more drag. Get the speed brakes out. See if we can comply with this restriction here. I thought I could move this box. I don't know why I can't move it now. Oh well. Flying Guitar Sam, what's going on, man? He says, I like the CJ and FS 2020, though it's more of a space shuttle simulation with how powerful it is. It is a space shuttle simulation, man. If you guys aren't familiar, the little reverse thrust attenuators on the CJ, those are to prevent bird strikes from behind because they are so slow. And in Flight Sim 2020, that's just not the case, man. It's really, the performance is really skewed in that one. We'll clear that out. I don't need more drag. We're doing just fine. There we go. So we need to be below 15 at 11. We're looking good at 250 knots. We're a little hot. That's all right. The engines are spooling up. That's pretty realistic. It's just an Airbus thing right there. From what I gather, the A300, when the guys tried to fly it like a modern-day Airbus, it just really wasn't good at its job. So they ended up flying it a lot more manual. But that's a high thrust increase there just because we slipped below 250 briefly. Kartik says, I talk about old airplanes. Iran Air just self-refurbished their 747-200, which is over 35 years old. I'm sure a bunch of things aren't working. They flatten otherwise. That's crazy, man. 35 years old. Dang. Try not looking at the ground. I will check it out, man. I think it's just, I'm not sure. I don't know if it's the bit rate or what. Blue Mac, what is going on, man? Good to see you here, Blue Mac. Wire streams interrupted by commercials. It's quite honestly more disrupting than the minor cutouts. Sorry to hear it, dude. Looks like we had a nice little lag there. Little frame drop. From some monitoring what's happening. Hopefully we can get her on the ground here. Michael says, on my annual 2 years ago, they failed the FMS entirely. VOR nav saved my check. Awesome, dude. Yeah, there is a lot of redundancy with VORs. I think they're going to be around for quite some time. But I'm sure, like anything else that was old school, it's going to be eventually phased out. Thank you for the subscribe, man. Appreciate it, man. Analog displays look so much cooler than the modern PFD. I would have to agree with you there, man. I would have to agree with you there. All right, we're getting ready to go through 10,000 feet. We're 11.6. We'll go ahead and get our French speed brakes out, get our lights on. Normally we'd do that, you know, clear land, clear approach. But we're going to turn them all on right now since we aren't using an ATC service. I wonder if this view is what gets it messed up here. Oh, it seems to have smoothed itself out a little bit. Tolis and I are my go-to aircraft these days. Awesome. Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there, man. That's kind of what I've been flying. Jeremy Harvey says, I wonder if the thrust levers in this airplane are back-driven and actually move. They do move, Jeremy Harvey. They actually move. It's not detents like in the modern-day Airbus. Parabas, what's up, man? It says, hey, V1, how you doing? Great, you are back. A lot of stutters. Do you have Simlink running? Try to turn off. It causes stutters. Simlink. I do not believe I have Symlink on. The stutters, I am almost positive, are coming from the internet connection. I don't believe I have Symlink. I have Sim Toolkit Pro. I don't think that will be doing it. Curtis says, I saw a YouTube video of the A220. That bird is so super pretty for a modern airplane. Yeah, the 220 is pretty, man. Yeah, so maybe it is this view that's... Let's see, I'm trying to minimize what's happening there. I'm going to go ahead and kill Sim Toolkit Pro. Let's just see. I'm just going to see. I don't think that's making a difference, but I'm going to kill it. Alright, there's 9,000 over flower, left turn out to full. Beautiful Portland down there. Hello there, how are things going? Man, they were going well for a while, but we are hitting some frame drop issues as well. Curtis is speaking of which, did you read the news on the Airbus concept airplanes going to get hydrogen powered? Yes, I did see that actually. I saw an article on the hydrogen powered airplanes. They look pretty interesting. We'll see. Is Sim Toolkit Pro Symlink? I'm not sure. That's why I shut it off. We'll see if it helps or not.
Subscriber.
But I mean, YouTube is still telling me it's poor. Thank you for the subscribe there. Key 6. Yeah, if you're subscribing to the channel now with these stutters, it must be hardcore. I appreciate it. 220 is a glorified E195. I would agree with that statement as well. But it sounds a hell of a lot cooler than an E195. Hearing those things tanks out with those Neo motors, man. Pretty cool. The stutters are back. I hear ya. I see it too, man. I do not know what would be causing it, other than just the connection itself. Because I'm only sending, a fraction of the bitrate that I am capable of. So something is going on. What scenery? This is all ORBX. This is all ORBX HD. So we are sail between 8 and 6, 1,000 above 6. We are looking good. Once we get down here, we'll vector ourselves right on to the final approach for runway 10 right. Did you see that Airbus has now overtaken a Boeing as the world's largest commercial aircraft manufacturer? No, I have not. That's pretty insane. Hitlo C says, have you checked out the A32X mod? Yes, I have. Check out the master development branch. It's awesome. The lighting in the dev branch is beautiful. I've seen the screenshots, man. Any plans for some IXCG flying soon? My biggest plans right now are trying to settle the internet issues. Once we can get them worked out, I will be making more promises of different airplanes. But I do love the IXCG, man. Don't get me wrong. I definitely want to look into a cable wind connection. I will be looking into that ASAP, Carta. Definitely going to be looking into that, man. I know there's a delay on the stream as well, but as of right now, it just flipped over. Maybe it'll start to smooth out here. Aleem, not bad. He says, I don't mind the stutters as long as we have you back in streaming. Aleem, that means a lot. I appreciate it, my friend. Did you ever fly the MILSAP transition? It sounds a hell of a lot. That sounds familiar, man. Was that the one where I violated on stream? I know we violated a transition going into Portland.
Subscriber ahead. Look up.
Alright, thank you for the subscribe there, Carpenter. Appreciate it, man. If you're subscribing with these stutters, I can't wait to show you some smooth streams when we get back at it. But alright, there's bottom at 5,000. I'm going to go ahead and continue our descent down to 3,000 feet. We're going to go level change mode. And I'm going to do heading select. Oops. Always pull your heading first. I thought it was a regular Airbus. We're going to fly 330. And we're going to go ahead and bring it back to 210 knots. Torque Sim SR22 stream. Ooh, I do love that Torque Sim. I have their pocket rocket. I'll have to look into the SR22. Man, I gotta apologize, man. I don't know what we are losing it here on the Wi-Fi's. Man, that's a bummer. That is a bummer. Oh, west of DFW? I'm sure I have, man. I think I've flown every arrival into Dallas that there is by now. Alright, we're down to 3,000. Let's go ahead and extend flaps to 1. And we're going to keep on coming down. To 2,000 feet, and then we're going to turn right and join the final. Slow it down to 180 as well. Alright, so we're going to come right, 360, and then we're going to go direct to poles. Nope. Direct poles. Insert nav. Landing button, there we go. Glide slope blue, load blue. Leveling 3,000 feet. Speed is, or no, we're going on 2,000. Flaps 2, 15 and 20. I believe it's 15 and, yeah. There's our Lodestar, glide slope star. Gear down. What's our VAP? It was 143. Corrected now. 143, we're going to hand fly it. Autopilot's coming off. Auto thrust is coming off. Manual thrust. Flaps 3. Buffering like mad, yeah, I don't know if it just, it's giving up on us here. It's giving up on us here. If you've made it to this point, I'm going to try to get us on the ground. Let's see what happens. We'll go flaps full. We'll run a landing checklist here. Cabin crew advised auto thrust is off. No ECAM memo, really, like the traditional Airbus, but we are landing all green. Flaps are full, indicating on speed. Get that trim in there. As James May would say, buffering. Oh man, I'm looking at the stream buffering it. Here I am stalling on approach here. Man, I feel like 143 is very low.
Subscriber ahead. Look up.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. You guys are just gonna see me be total butter. We're gonna go from 1,000 feet to being buttered on the runway probably. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain a smooth connection. Well, now that is interesting. F's in chat. It's not the frame. It's not the frames. My frames are freaking rocking 30 FPS here. Neil says we'll never give up on you. I appreciate it, man. I'm flying all over the place here. I got no excuses now because we're in Cabo weather too. man, this stream just tanked. Maybe I'll have to stream earlier in the morning when the air is nice and calm, disrupting the Wi-Fi. Sure is a turbulent approach with that buffer. Ah, man, my soul is crushed, guys. I can't believe it. I thought we had resolved the issues there when we were on cruise. Get it down.
400.
Oh, you know what? I should have my ILS button on. Whoops. There you
300.
go. Makes a difference, huh? I can't imagine what you guys are seeing on your end. It must look like a slideshow from the 80s.
20, 10, 5.
Well, I'll tell you what, it was a greaser, that's for sure. Reverse screen, we're decelling. Breakfast with V1, more like buffering with V1. I'm gonna make a buffering emoji. Yeah, this stream is completely tanked out. Manual brakes, 70 knots. I'm gonna smoke the brakes so I can make this turn off. Wish we made it turn off. Alright, reconfigure this puppy. Alpha 9er's the gate. We're right here. We're going to turn it all off. I feel like I'm going to hit those objects there, but since you guys can't really see, it's a flight simulation PowerPoint. Oh, my gosh. A flight simulation PowerPoint. That is too funny. Just wait till you see my PowerPoint parking job, too. He still wants me to get closer. Let's see. Alright, brake set. Good night, guys. Ay, ay, ay. Let's go ground power and just shut it down. And I'm going to attempt to see if we can smooth it out here and do a replay. But if I can't smooth it out, rip. Not proper procedures for shutting down either, but... Frame by frame landing guide. Oh gosh. Oh, windy Wi-Fi emoji. You guys are funny, man. At least it was smooth for the most part. Wow, I'm seeing the replay of what you guys are watching. Holy crap, that was terrible. I don't know how to say, man. Let's really throw it for a loop. Let's throw it in replay mode, and let's see if we can really trip out the stream here. I hope you guys don't have any health issues or what's that? If you watch stutters, you can have a seizure, epilepsy. Definite word of caution, because watching this slideshow probably could do that to you. Let's go back in here and let's see what kind of slideshow we can watch during replay mode. Make a PowerPoint emoji. Oh boy. Well, chat still works. That's a good thing, right? Hey man, definitely that still works. Maybe we'll have to figure out what's going on. No matter what time it is, V1 hitting the bourbon. I might have to hit the bourbon for this and then go move some dirt around, because What a depressing end to a semi-smooth stream there for a little bit. I'm trying to see what you guys are going to watch in the replay mode. So far, it doesn't look like it's going to be very smooth. Oh boy. Nope. Wow. Alright, well, the replays are going to be just as bad as what you've been watching. So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to leave it at that. I will try to let this replay play through. We'll get the sail song on. Guys, I really wish I had a smoother experience for you all. But I appreciate everybody at least coming out and getting back together on the chat and suffering through this together. Man, we're going to have to figure it out, though. I am not going to give up. I'd never give up. I'm not going to give up now. We're going to figure it out. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend. I hope you're staying safe, staying healthy. Until next time, guys, I'm V1. I don't know if you saw that PowerPoint touchdown right there, but that was a butter touchdown. Until next time, guys, I'm V1. See ya!